Aishwarya Mahadev, I want to bring you in. You might want to take the crutch of these figures and cry political vendetta, but let's see what's happening in Rajasthan. There are two separate stories, Aishwarya Mahadev. One story, of course, the investigation where the son of the sitting chief minister is concerned. On the other hand, where it comes down to the paper leaks, where your party leadership, your president of the Rajasthan Pradesh Committee Congress, Mr. Dotasra, is being investigated in the paper leaks case. Your very own Sachin Pilot demanded, when he was, when he went on his own yatra, saying that he's not going to rest till the perpetrators of the paper leaks are brought to justice and the government needs to take immediate action. You should be welcoming this then.
Good evening, Preeti. I think first and foremost, Mr. Sachin Pilot in his press conference today has highlighted two very important things. One, that the case against Mr. Gehlot's son is a matter over 12 to 15 years old, which has been pulled up right now. So I don't understand if it's due diligence or malfeasance at the time of elections, one. And with the issue of the paper leak, let's be very clear. If the BJP or the agencies even had a whiff of actual wrongdoing whatsoever, as Mr. Pilot also cleared out, there would be some heads rolling. There would be actual decisive action. And because of the fact that they found nothing, and also give Mr. Pilot the benefit of the doubt, where he decided to wait to see if the agencies would find anything of any wrongdoing, whether it's your own government or elsewhere, we found that there's nothing. But Preeti, moving on from that, there are two very important things I want to point out, because obviously the BJP spokesperson has gone on to tell me that in 9 years, only 31 cases have been decided, but that is in comparison, 31 decisive cases in comparison to the thousands of people summoned and harassed and detained, shows you very clearly that these agencies are not acting on due diligence. Because if you look at the number of quashings in court, if you look at the number of reprimands...
Aishwarya Mahadev, what has the Rajasthan government done for paper leaks? Please tell me, in terms of investigation. And when central agencies step in, you call it vendetta. That's what many would suggest.
1 second. Central agencies have been stepping in since when? Have they found any decisive proof? From when has the CBI and the ED decided to act?
So nobody was responsible for the paper leaks?
Very simple.
A matter raised by your very own?
Preeti, there was an internal probe. Did they or did they not hand it to the state administration? Did they not ask for an internal investigation on this? Yes, they did. When the national agencies wanted to take over, did Mr. Gehlot say no? No, he did not. Did they basically allow the ED, CBI come in and take 15 times, more than 15 times, right? You've seen these agencies be active in the state. Have they or have they not acted? They have. Have they found any proof? Absolutely not. On the eve of elections, they're using this as a manner of harassment. But Preeti, one tiny point before you move on, and I am accused of hogging all the time on your debate. Let me tell you this. When they talk about this is not politically motivated, there was a huge case against Mr. Narayan Rane. There was a huge case against Mr. Himanta Biswa. There were huge cases against Ajit Pawar, the current sitting Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Praful Patel.
The washing machine analogy has been often used by the opposition. And, Dr. Syed Zafar Islam, I want to open up the panel, but I'll come back because there have been charges been made from your very own, on your very own. Of course, you don't have him in the party anymore, but your Shahpura MLA did suggest that Mr. Meghwal, the cabinet minister, is corrupt. There was no investigation internally also, or an inquiry called out where the BJP is concerned, and you're talking about the same Rajasthan unit. But Avinash Kala, to bring you in on this, for someone who's been covering Rajasthan, Mr. Kala, is corruption even an issue at all? Will it be a poll agenda? You're less than a month going into election.
See, corruption is an issue for sure. There is no denying the fact. Paper leak is a big issue. It is something that the government has admitted. The people in the government or in the party have said so. But the way ED has been coming in now in political circles and elsewhere, many people are saying that's a part of the election strategy, it looks like. Every time they turn it up and they target people. So, and they haven't found anything substantial. The state government has done its own inquiries. Nothing much has been coming out. But the way ED is coming in, the way frequency has increased closer to the election is something that is questionable. Like in the paper leak case, this is their 7th visit. In the Department of IT case, they have come 4 times. In Jal Jeevan Mission, they have come 3 to 4 times. So they are coming in, they are probing. There is no denying the fact that they should not. There are corruption cases. But is this leading somewhere? That is a doubtful thing. They are not getting anything. And we cannot deny the fact that the paper leak cases and certain corruption allegations are going to be a big election issue. People understand the election, but people also question the motive with which central agencies have shown an urgency now to rush towards Rajasthan.
All right. I just want to bring in right now Yashovardhan Azad into the conversation. Yashovardhan Azad, the Congress very clear that, this is to crush political dissent. The opposition's rallying point, they've even approached the courts of the misuse of what they feel of central agencies. But in terms of sheer numbers, when you look at it, and we've quoted them early on in the show, where ED investigations are concerned, where CBI investigations are concerned, especially when we've seen the case rise with the opposition, leaders being targeted, there is then, at least for the opposition, to suggest that this is a witch hunt. Look at the numbers.
Okay, let me first clarify a few things. When you're talking about a conviction rate, it would be wrong to sort of lump in all the figures which the ED is investigating right from the beginning and say that there have been only 23 convictions. Now, the conviction rate can only be calculated from the number of cases the court has given judgment in which these are the convictions in these cases, and in these cases they have gone scot-free. That's one. But the other issue which is very important is that over the years, when the cases have been registered in so many numbers, then it is also important to see that how the investigations have been done. Which year, how many investigations are completed, how many were dropped, how many were challaned, how many cases in the charges were framed, and then how many cases are pending in court. So therefore, if the investigations are pending for a long time, it's a wrong thing, because you cannot, in a democracy, you cannot just make people, appearing again and again. For example, if 12 or 13-year-old case is continuing for such a long time, then again, it has to be questioned. The second part which I want to stress upon is that you cannot say that the ED searches, raids are just manufactured out of the air. No, that's not true. There has to be some prima facie evidence. The question is to what extent the evidence is there on the basis of this, which wide searches and investigations are carried out. That's a very, very important matter. And where I will give a comment, which is true, is that yes, there seems to be more, it seems to be more exciting targeting the opposition, whereas the targeting against the ruling members is hardly to be seen. So in that respect, I would say yes. But Preeti, let me tell you one thing. The paper leaks are a scourge in the states. The number of youth, you asked a very important question, whether this thing is going to, corruption is going to impact Rajasthan or not. I'm surprised the number of youth who are being denied in Gujarat, in UP, in Haryana, in Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh, because of these paper leaks and the board exams. Even the PSC members are in jails. So this is something which needs to be looked into. Otherwise, it will remain only a political battle. But the political point is there. I would say in the end, they say that everything is fair in love and war. I think it's also fair in Indian politics that when the opposition is against you, institute cases. When the opposition comes into power, then that institutes cases against the new party. That's a sad thing. That's the reality.
Well, you're right. It is a sad thing. And Mr. Kala, I want to bring you in because let's look at the politics over the last 6 months, even where Sachin Pilot, he went on a yatra all across Rajasthan, stating that one of his biggest demands was that the perpetrators behind the paper leak be brought to justice. He also insinuated during that yatra that those people were close to the Chief Minister themselves.
Yes, he did. And he did rake it up. And based on his demands, there was a state-level inquiry that was set up. People were questioned. So the government did that part. But beyond that, nothing has come through. And I would agree with what Mr. Azad said, that paper leak is one of the prime issues on which the elections are being fought here. And look at the cases, as you would rightly say, there are other cases also in the state in which the state government has been demanding that a probe from ED should happen. But nothing has moved because that involves people from the ruling party in the center. So that is the disparity that is there for everybody to see. if there is a small announcement or a case that happens, ED comes rushing in. One of the BJP leaders walks into a mall and alleges that there is black money stored in here, and you have ED officers walking in by the evening. Whereas the entire state government machinery goes out and says there is an allegation or there is a wrongdoing, and nothing seems to be moving in the ED or any other central agency side. So this does rake up a question about intentions, and it is for the people to see.